to teach you how to take measurements from the hips up today. So this video is specifically for the ladies. Gentlemen, I've got one for you. You can check that one out yourself. And then ladies, if you are looking for some more measurements from the hips downward, like maybe how to take your inseam, your thighs, things like that, check out this video instead. Okay, so first of all, we need a handy dandy measuring tape. If you don't happen to have one of these, that is not a problem. I've got a link down in the description where you can find one super cheap on Amazon. Now, we're gonna start with our hip measurement and we're gonna work our way up. So guys, the hips is gonna go right across the biggest part of your butt. So when you are taking the measurement yourself, first of all, it is really important to make sure that when you are doing this, that you are getting right there directly in the middle of your hips. If you need a mirror to double check, always grab that. That's usually the safest way to go. And what you really need to make sure that you are not doing when you are taking this measurement is looking down to see what the measurement actually is. So let me explain why. So let's go ahead and we're gonna take the measurement the proper way. So we've got this all the way around our hips, except this is twisted, let me fix that. All the way around our hips, we've got a smooth line all the way back through here. And I'm gonna put my finger right on it and take it off, and boom, I'm at about 43.25 is what my hips are. Now, we're gonna do this again, and we're gonna place the measurements exactly the same way. We're gonna hold on to this, we're gonna make sure it's smooth across the butt. Now, we're gonna bend down to look at our measurements, and oh my God, now my hips are a little bit more than 43.5. So the bending, guys, makes a huge difference. If you are taking this yourself, it is very important not to bend over. That changes things, and if you are getting something custom made and you are sending them your measurements ahead of time, these small little measurements can really throw off a design. So just keep that in mind. So now we're gonna move to our waist. So our waist is actually gonna be the smallest part of our torso. So a lot of people think that, oh, the jeans sit here, that's my waist. That's actually not your waist. So if you need a measurement, let's say you're getting a pair of pants made and you want them to be worn right here, your designer is probably gonna ask you for where is the top of your pants gonna go, and they're gonna want that measurement. So that's right there. Otherwise, if they say waist, they really mean up here, which is the smallest part, which usually goes right across the belly button. So I'll show you guys. But see my my waist here, if you draw that line all the way across, it reaches to the belly button, which actually is the shirt that makes it hard to see. So we are gonna take the tape measure and we are going to stick this right up in here. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna make sure it's not too snug, right? Because that right there, that is too snug. We want it to fit comfortably, and we also don't wanna bend forward. We're not looking forward, we're just placing it here. And we're gonna place our finger directly where the tape measure here is touching and ending on the outer part of the tape measure. So when I take that apart, I've got 35 1/8 is what I've got for my waist. Now we're gonna move up to our bust. So a couple things before you take your bust measurement. First of all, if you are having something made specifically for you, let's say you're doing an evening gown and you would wear a strapless bra with it, then you need to make sure you are wearing the strapless bra when you take your bust measurement. Now, if you are getting a garment, let's say it's a loose flowing t-shirt, that's not as important. The bra is not that important. But if you are going to be getting something that is going to be form-fitting, make sure you are wearing the bra you will wear with that garment while you take these measurements, because y'all, the bra makes a whole difference in the size of the bust. I know for a fact when I wear a strapless bra, I'm typically a little less busty because it is conforming to me so it stays up and doesn't fall down. And that's probably the same with you. Y'all probably all noticed this. But just keep in mind that is very, very important. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna step a little closer, is we are going to make sure that the measuring tape goes straight across the widest part of the bust. It's usually right over the nipple. I had no better way of saying that. And it's gonna go the widest part of there. So, and again, we're not gonna bend over, we're not gonna hunch down, we are going to stand straight, and we're gonna make sure that this is a comfortable fit. We're not gonna go super tight, guys, because this is a whole different measurement. This is 38 1/8 inch because I'm jamming this. Look at that. This is not the way we do this. We want it to be comfortable, not too loose, because 42, that's a huge difference there. But we're just gonna let it comfortably sit, and I've got literally exactly 41 1/2. So that's what my bust measurement is going to be. So a couple other little measurements that you might need to take. So one of them is, let's say you're getting a V-neck shirt made. It's a simple casual shirt. You don't need a whole lot of specific, like it doesn't need to be tight, anything like that, but it's a V-neck. So a V-neck, if we are going to be taking the measurements from there, let's say the length of the V-neck, how deep we want it. We want to start here at the nape of the neck, and that's usually right where the collarbone ends. If I had more of a collarbone showing, you could see it better. But basically, there's this little indentation in your neck. We're going to start there and place the measuring tape there, and we're going to pull it down as far as we want. Let's say we want a baby V-neck and we just want it right here. Well, then that's about 5 3/8 inches. Let's say I want something real deep and sexy, and we're gonna lace it up and look really cute. We want it deeper. So that's gonna be more like 9 1/2 inches. So if you are doing a V-neck or you need some kind of depth right there to see how low we wanna cut things, that would be the way to start, just right here at the nape of the neck. Same for the back. So the back you'll most likely need a little bit of help with. If you have no one to help, then what I would say is just go ahead and start at the base of your neck, which is usually where this bone is right here. And you would do the same thing. You would pull it down the spine, and you're not going to tug tight. We're just going to loosely guide it and make sure it's snug but not too tight. Sometimes we want a measurement, we want to know from the base of the neck to the waist or to the hip, to wherever the garment's going to stand. And let's say we're doing the waist. Well, my waist is about right here. So that's going to be, that's going to be about 13 inches. So that's how we would take that measurement. And then sometimes we want some other crazy measurements. We want the cuff right here. So a cuff measurement, that would be 6 1/2 inches, or my wrist. The cuff would be a little bit larger, but that's why we want to know the wrist, because if your wrist is 6 1/2 inches, the designer's going to know exactly how much more inches to give for ease to make sure your cuff isn't skin tight like this. A few other measurements that might be taken are from the shoulder down to the wrist. If you have to do this one's going to be a bit tricky on your own. But this one, I would definitely recommend getting some assistance if you really don't have anyone to assist you. See how my fingers locked up in there? I would, if I were you, I would take this measurement like this, and then you would have to kind of pull it out to see. And we'd say, okay, for me, that's about 20 inches. I got some long arms. It might, actually, it's more like if you look down, you'd have to kind of go at an angle like this. And you would look downward. It's about 21 inches from my shoulder all the way to my wrist, if that's necessary for a sleeve length. Again, that is a measurement that I would probably have whoever is making the garment for you or who's tailoring the garment. I would have them take it, get your partner, your mom, your brother, get somebody to help you out with that one. That's really not one that you should be taking on your own. But for the most part, again, the measurements that we can take ourselves are the hips. We can do a waistline, or where we're going to have a waistband if we need to adjust that, if it's not going to be at the actual waist up here, which is right here. We can do our bust. We can do how deep we want a V-neck or a special cut like that. We can also do our wrists. We can do our biceps, y'all. Our biceps would look a bit like this. The same thing, we want our arm to be down and relaxed. We do not want it up here. Again, that will change the measurements. So down and relaxed. We are not gonna look over. We are just going to place it, and we are going to mark it with our finger and see that for me, that is 11 3/4 inches. And then lastly, the neck. In case you have some kind of piece that has a neck right here, a neckline that's more like this, we would wrap it on around, make sure it's not too tight. Put your finger where it ends, and for me, that is 13.5 inches. So I hope this was helpful in teaching you how to take your measurements properly. Be sure to check out my other videos, including how to take any measurements that are from the hips down. If you are a gentleman and you need some help with that, I've also got videos for you too. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope this was helpful.